One of the biggest drawbacks to playing games on Steam Deck is that you can only play Steam games, and while that's mostly true, I found a way to play non-Steam games. I'm going to show you how. What is up guys, my name is Tyler, and today I'm going to show you how to play non-Steam games on your Steam Deck. Now, before we dive into this, I want to mention that in order to do this, you won't need anything complicated. No OS changes, no mods, no scripts, and quite frankly, that's what makes this so easy. All you'll need for this is your Steam Deck and a free account for NVIDIA GeForce NOW. I'll leave a link below so you can go sign up. Alright, first thing you need to do is put your Steam Deck into desktop mode. To do this, wake it up from sleep and hit the Steam button. Scroll down to power and select switch to desktop. Now, if you've never done this, you might be surprised to know that your Steam Deck can be used almost like a PC. Granted, it's Linux, not Windows, but honestly, Valve's version of Linux operates pretty similar to Windows in that you have a browser, a menu of sorts, and of course, a cursor. Oh, and if you remember in my review, the touchpads are super useful in desktop mode, and if you're not a fan of the touchpads, which would be wild, you can use the right thumbstick to also move the cursor. Literally the smallest but best feature in handheld desktop modes, period. So, the first thing you need to do is make sure Steam itself is running on your desktop. The reason is because if it's not, you won't be able to open the keyboard or move the cursor with your thumbstick, which you'll need to do in order to navigate the desktop unless you connect a keyboard and mouse. However, your right touchpad should still function as a mouse regardless. So to open Steam, just hit the little Steam Deck logo in the corner, click on Games, and then click on Steam. Steam should boot up like it would on your PC, and once it's open, you can honestly close it or just minimize it. Just make sure you see the Steam logo in the dock below. Okay, now we're going to go to the Discover App Store. If it's not pinned to your dock at the bottom, you can find it by hitting the little Steam Deck logo in the corner and searching for it. To pull up your keyboard, hold the Steam button and the X button on your Steam Deck, otherwise you can type it in on your keyboard. Personally, I use a Newfie Air 75 keyboard for my Steam Deck because it's super thin, light, and perfect for the Steam Deck. If you'd like to get one too, you can use code XXIV10 for 10% off your order on the Newfie website. Okay, go ahead and open the Discover app, and in the search box, we're going to search for GeForce NOW Electron. Even typing just GeForce will be enough, but be careful not to put NVIDIA first because GeForce NOW won't come up in the search, so just make sure you put GeForce NOW. You'll see it as the top option, and from there, we'll go ahead and hit install. Once it finishes installing, you'll see it in the Games tab on your menu. Now, you can run GeForce NOW from desktop mode if you like, and if this is your first time using GeForce NOW, I recommend signing into your account and connecting any game accounts before you move on. I also highly recommend using a keyboard and mouse for this step. Once you've signed into everything, we're now going to add GeForce NOW to our SteamOS home menu so that we don't need to launch desktop mode each time we want to play. To do this, we're going to open Steam back up on the desktop here and then go to Library, and at the bottom, we're going to click on Add a Game and then click on Add a Non-Steam Game. We'll get this menu pop up, and from there, we'll look for GeForce NOW. Click it so it's checked and hit the Add Selected Programs. Give it a moment, and once it settles itself, you should see GeForce NOW on your Steam library, and theoretically, it should now show up in SteamOS. So let's see. We'll close Steam, and then we'll click on Return to Gaming Mode. Give it a sec to reset, then you'll be back on SteamOS. Now, we're going to go to our library and scroll over to our non-Steam games, and you should now see GeForce NOW. Of course, in order to use GeForce NOW, you'll need to have an account and sign into it on your Steam Deck, which again, I recommend doing in desktop mode because when you launch it on SteamOS, it appears at the moment that only touch control works, which is less than ideal, but it'll work well enough to get you into a game. But I went into my control settings and changed my right touchpad to be a mouse, and that seemed to help a ton. NVIDIA, if you're watching this, please make GeForce NOW more optimized for Steam Deck. I think I can speak for most of us when I say, we want this. All right, let's play Alan Wake 2 on the Steam Deck. Simply tap the game you want to play, and before you know it, you're playing games like Alan Wake 2 at max settings with all the ray tracing bells and whistles enabled at 60 FPS or more, all from the comfort of your Steam Deck. I do want to leave a little disclaimer that in order to get the max performance from GeForce NOW, you will need a paid subscription to GeForce NOW, but a free subscription will still allow you to play your games. Also, GeForce NOW only works with games you already own. But despite those couple catches, this allows you to play your favorite non-Steam games in all their glory on your Steam Deck, and the best part is, you're barely using any battery because you're simply streaming the game, meaning you can play for much longer and never worry about your Steam Deck getting hot. And if you ask me, this is a pretty great alternative to sitting at your desk, and if you just want to play your single game titles in bed, not to mention if you don't have the hardware to run some of these games at higher settings. I actually made a full video about GeForce NOW, which you should check out here. But that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. You can follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at xxiv_concept. That's 24 concept. Learn your Roman numerals. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.